Alright, so we're back in the garage. It's been a good week since I've been able to do anything for the table due to some fucking adverse weather. Yeah, the wife's had her car in the garage, so I've not been able to get in and do anything, but I'm back at it. Excuse that noise, that new printer I got is loud as a motherfucker. But, you know, it's printing out shit like this, so it can be as loud as it wants. So, where we're up to. I've got another couple of tiles prepped and ready to rumble, just, you know, the extent and the length on them, all that sort of stuff. Basically, these two tiles are going to be the ones with hills on them. So we've got the first one here, just using the cheapo polystyrene, 2 layers of it. This is very rough, this is just to get the shape. I haven't done any texturing or adding rock formations or any of that kind of crap, just a bit of wall filler just to fill some gaps, because I tried to just use offcuts of foam rather than ripping up new sheets for it, that sort of thing. But yeah, stuck down with liquid nails. It'll get the full texture treatment, all that sort of stuff once everything's dry. It looks like fucking, you know, dog's bollocks right now, but it'll get there. The second hill, so basing the size on, you know, towers and stuff, like I've got a version of this tower without the walls protruding, like a standalone. So I just wanted to make sure both were big enough to fit a tower on top. I've also measured these spaces for like unit trays and things like that. So if I wanted, like, you know, little 5-man or 10, you know, 5x2 units of shooting units and stuff like that, they'll fit. Combat units will fit up the top. Same will be said of this hill. So this hill is going to be a little bit different. That one's obviously at the edge, so I can, you know, put it on any side sort of thing. This one, so I've marked out on the tile roughly where the hill is going to sit. So, you know, not quite in the middle, because I wanted to still have a fair bit of terrain on the tile that, you know, you can do stuff with, move units around, etc. So how we're going to do this one, basically cut this one out rough sort of size and shape I want, may have used it as a template. We're going to do this, we'll stick both of these together, probably just liquid nails again or something like that, to make one thick ass one, and then I'll use the hot foam cutter to sort of slope the sides. I'll still leave a flat top on it so that you can still use it for games and stuff like that. The sides will be, because it'll be like one piece, I'll make it so it's smooth, so it's all flush rather than like a stepped one like that. So it'll just be one sort of hill. I'll make the slopes quite gradual for this one, so hence why I've done quite a big piece. So, you know, you probably end up with about this much space in the middle that's flat and playable, that sort of stuff. Basically, as long as I can fit a tower on and a unit on, I'm happy. And we'll get on with that. Just been, you know, a bit of filler on the board edges where those connectors go. The extenders, sorry, just I found on the last tile, when I was putting all the grouting stuff and all that down, I was having to like put extra just because it was sort of, I don't know, leaving a bit of a dent sort of thing. So trying to get ahead of that now and just build it up a bit so it doesn't sink in so much. Other than that though, no real updates. So like I said, the updates will just be more about when I do new stuff and progress reports rather than stopping every step of the way. But yeah, like I said, haven't had much progress yet, so I'll touch back with him when I've done a bit more. All right, back at it. So got the second hill shaped up, carved out, that kind of thing. So I'll just show you what I did. So you can see the liquid nails here where, you know, when I've cut through, that's showing through. Interesting fact, hot wire cutters do cut through liquid nails, go figure, it's just a little bit slower. So I've tried to smooth this out. The weights are just weighing it down because I've got the liquid nails underneath, just getting it in place. Positioning wise, pretty close to this edge and obviously far away from this edge. I did that on purpose. I want it so I've got the option, depending on which way I put this down, I can either have the summit of the hill within your usual 12-inch deployment or outside of it, depending on, you know, how you want the battle to go. It's a pretty big hill as hills go. It's going to dominate this entire tile. I did that on purpose. You know, being a Warhammer Fantasy player predominantly, the thing that's always given me the shits with hills is, for most editions, the rules dictate that they completely block line of sight. You can't see through them. You can see something on it, and if you're on the hill, you can see obviously what's around, but you can't see through the hill. But the hills that you'd see with like these little shitty plastic ones or fucking low lying things, and it's like, that ain't doing nothing for me. So I wanted something big, and it's like, if I tell you that block's line of sight, you believe me, that kind of thing. So once this is set hard, I'm going to use wall filler again, but I'm going to mix it with water to make it really sort of liquidy and pasty. Build these edges up so they're a bit smoother. I was finding it hard to get enough of a shallow edge without losing height to, you know, to get this to run flat. To run more smooth, sorry. Like I've got a bit more of it around here, but like I said, a bit of filler and stuff, and it doesn't have to look completely, you know, perfect. It is, you know, meant to be realistic and landformed weirdly. But yeah, bit of filler to get this in. After that, we'll be getting onto the basing. Now the snag I've hit is, it's been so bloody wet. I've not been able to go out and get more soil from the backyard to make the base mix, so I'm just waiting for it to dry. You know, hopefully a day or two will do that. Now the other thing is this one. I want to have some protruding rock, you know, on like these levels and stuff like that. Now there's a million different ways you can do that. I say a million, there's like 3. So I can use either cork, pine bark, or get like a plaster rock mold from Woodland Scenics or something. I avoided looking at Woodland Scenics because the one that I want, nowhere in Australia seems to have it at the moment, so it'd be like an order in job, and it was like everyone was saying it's going to be like a month coming from the UK or the US. I was like, I ain't got time for that shit. Also, I'm then very much at the mercy of then having to do more crap where I could do it easier, which is my MO. So it's like I'll have to cast rocks and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, it's not hard, but it's just more time, it's more messy crap. It means buying more stuff. The molds themselves are about 30 bucks, usually a tenner for shipping, and then I've got to buy a plaster of Paris, which I don't think is expensive, but I've never used it before. It's just more crap that can go wrong. So whereas if I just get some you know, bits of pine bark and stuff, I can just hot glue it on. Bob's your uncle. Fill it, put some filler around it, and you know, it'll blend in. Bunnings doesn't sell fucking pine bark. Well, they do in these big wet bags of mulchy shit, which is obviously no good for me. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, just go for a walk down to the bushland near my house or something and see what I can salvage. But again, the weather's been crap, so it's all gonna be soggy and rubbish. So I might, I don't know, bung it in the oven on 50 for a while or something, see if I can dry it out. Which has given me sort of a thought process of, I'm going to have lots of periods of time with this table where I'm either waiting for things to arrive in the mail, waiting for things to dry, waiting for things to set, blah, blah, blah. So that gives me the shits, especially when I want to, you know, make these videos, upload more content. But it did give me the thought process of, like, I do want to do other tables. And, you know, I can just be doing other tables while I'm waiting for, you know, this stuff I need to progress on this one. So with that in mind, I am going to start on another table, go fish. There's a million different ones I want to do, lots of plans. Obviously space will become an issue as well, not so much for storing the tiles, but having space to work on multiple tiles at once. Luckily I've got most of the garage where I can just put trestles up and, you know, get stuck in. But something I've always wanted to do is a Zone Mortalis table for Horus Heresy. I absolutely love Zone Mortalis. I don't get to play enough of it. The thing that's always sort of bugged me about it, I guess, it's always someone wanting to do some battle in a spaceship, and the layout's always stupid, and it's very sort of uniform looking. It's just the same walls, the same doors everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And when you go into the sort of background of Zone Mortalis, it talks about Zone Mortalis itself means just any area of battlefield where it's choke points, all this kind of stuff, and it gives specific examples of, you know, trenches, canyonways, dungeons, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I want to see more of that. I don't want to fucking see spaceships every 10 minutes, like that gets boring. So with that in mind, I'm thinking I'm going to do myself a little desert style canyonway, you know, very sort of not generic enough that I'd be like, oh, I could use that for fantasy as well, because who the fuck's going to play fantasy on a, you know, maze of a table basically. But you know, I could sort of theme it in a way that if I wanted to add a section of it as like an addition to like a fantasy table, like you just stick it on the end kind of thing for something a bit different. So I was thinking about it, how would I do it? And I'm gonna try and make a Zone Mortalis table completely out of foam. I'll call it Foam Mortalis, why not? But you know, that's obviously going to come with its own different set of issues. I did see a guy online and he was using, I think it's called EVA foam or something, whatever those yoga mats are made from, the thick tiles you can get of that, and he was just cutting those up, using them as a base for like a battle mat sort of situation that he was making, like 12-inch modular squares. And I was like, that could work. So I could use those as a base, because I want to try different things and see, you know, which of these crafting styles suits me best, what I like the most, what's cost effective, what's not, blah blah blah. So with that in mind, I might run down to Kmart, pick up a few of these yoga mat situations and fucking start hacking them up. But yeah, this could be an interesting project. I'll probably draw up some plans for it today and get back to you and let you know what I'm going to do. Other updates: second floor of the tower's done. She's a big bitch. I, in my head, thought this was going to look like the watchtower from, you know, the plastic sets for Warhammer Fantasy. It is way, way bigger. I think the watchtower comes up to about here, height-wise normally, but it's nowhere near this bulky as well. So this is going to be huge once I've done all the walls and stuff, because the walls are going to sort of come out at an angle, straight, angle, gateway, and all this. So it'll be like a little fort once it's all done, which would be really cool for siege games, all that sort of stuff, and all the rest. But, you know, that's just me sidetracking myself with other projects. But yeah, so I'll keep the 3D printer busy. Other than that, not much else to add, but yeah, once I've got some more updates with the grounding and all that sort of stuff for the hills, then we'll do some more videos. Cheers. Next update. All right, so we've got some wall filler down on there. So like I said, I was going to do a bit of water through it just to soften it up. Just put this on with my fingers. I was going to use the old popsicle sticks, but fucking I needed to post it into like in between all these rocks to give it full sort of flow, and that just was not happening. So, you know, got to finger it up. Used some pine bark in the end, which I found luckily just when I went for a walk this Savo. You know, Mother Nature provides. Love it when it's free. So look, I've used a metric fuck ton of filler on this, so who knows how long this is going to take to dry. Looking like the world's shittest birthday cake at the moment, if I'm honest, but you know, you trust the process and all that sort of shit. Once it does dry down, I'll give it a quick sand, because obviously the filler, just the natural texture of it, you end up with a few spiky bits that will probably protrude through grout and stuff like that, so I'll sand it all a bit smoother, but leave a bit of contour. You know, once it starts to set a bit, I might come back and have a look later tonight and just see if there's any bits that I've either missed or, you know, I feel like I need to build up a bit. Sort of mindset with this is, you know, it's the craggy foothills leading up to the mountains kind of thing. So, you know, not too much rock on the base layer, and then the top layer is where it starts to get craggy. Mostly for a realism sort of thing. I left a tiny little realism style goat path at the side there, just so it's feasible that things obviously could get to the top of this hill. That being said, it is cut off here, so use your imagination, kids. This side could be a, you know, grand set of steps. Haven't done anything with the other one yet. Been busy doing fucking all kinds of shit today. But obviously it's set in place, so we'll be able to get onto that. I'll probably do that tomorrow, to be honest. Ran out of time tonight, but we're getting there. I'm hoping this will dry over the next couple of days. Just depends what the weather does, if it's humid or not, but you know, that is what it is. I thought about just getting the hairdryer out and trying to fucking blast it through, but I don't know if that's going to fuck with the foam underneath or not as well, so let's just let nature do its thing and leave it be.